Welcome to episode 6 of the Local Odd podcast, where we dive deep into the stories and experiences of the extraordinary individuals from our community. But before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to our fantastic sponsor, Apeiron Clothing. We're excited to reveal that Apeiron is launching a level 1 course for people who are interested in getting into the game of golf. For more details, follow them under the Instagram handle at Apeiron-clothing. Or if you're looking for some good quality golf clothing, head to www.apeiron-clothing.com and use the code LOCAL15 for an exclusive 15% off your order. Now let's jump into this week's interesting conversation. We welcome Josh Wilson to the podcast this week. Josh, welcome.
Cheers, Dan. Thanks for having me.
It's a big pleasure. Josh's name has graced the game of football, where he played for teams such as Halifax Town and Fylde in the National League. He now runs a very popular and successful local radio station called Svara Radio, which invites local DJs to come in and use their station to promote themselves as musicians and have a platform for them to excel in whatever music genre or radio station they want to do. So it really aligns with our podcast, what we want to try and achieve. So Josh, welcome. So just let the listener, viewer, follower know what was life like growing up for you, mate.
Life was great growing up. Yeah, no complaints really. Was brought up in Huyton born and bred. Really close family, big circle of friends, very competitive football teams, and great music culture. So, no complaints really. Yeah.
So, football. We'll jump straight into your football career because it's for me. It's people will look at National League and go, it's just a National League, but it's much more than that. So where did football start, and did you have to progress through the academies to get where you were at?
Well, again, it started on the streets and fields, playing fields.
Did you grow up in the Johns? Did you, or were you by the Johns?
We started it on the Bluebell estate, and then moved over to Seal Road, which is close by to the Johns. But both estates, as in many estates in Liverpool, really competitive when it comes to street football, and then eventually school football. So I guess it all started there early. I think that's my earliest memories, rather than actually playing in football matches, would be playing on the streets. Yeah.
So what was did you get linked? Did you get scouted, did you, when you were younger?
Do you know what? I wouldn't pretty much say I was a late developer, but the first opportunity I got was with Everton, and I was 15, which was in the last
So some people would think that's quite late to get.
Yeah, that's
found.
Late. I mean, I always thought I was a good enough player to play in the academies, but I never really had the opportunity until I was 15.
When you say that, the first person who I think of is Ian Wright.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in his 20s when he got...
Yeah, 21, 22, and then obviously...
Just had a unbelievable... So if we're giving a message to anyone, never give up, isn't it? It's you can get found at any stage of, especially in your early years of football, you can get found whenever you want. And then...
absolutely. I mean, there's no rush at all. I don't think... Well, it's an interesting topic now, isn't it, with kids, and I emphasise the word kids, even children, are being pressured into these academy kind of organisations at such a young age. You're talking like 6, 7, 8 years old. I mean, I don't personally agree and think that is going to get you to the very top. I think if anything, it's kind of obstructing the natural development of these kids, But yeah, just back to Ian Wright. He was a late developer. I mean, I think it's all about timing, as in anything in life. I just think when you get that opportunity, you've got to be prepared to take it. Yeah.
So, was the pressure? Did you feel the pressure when you got into the academy, Everton?
No. To be honest,
you just carried on enjoying it.
Yeah, because it was a little bit more mature. I was just fucking made up, to be honest. Yeah, I remember going in and just putting on the training kit and then the match day kits, and you're playing against Man United, you're playing against Liverpool, you're playing against Man City, and you're like, this almost feels real, like you've already made it. And being so close to the academy naturally gutted that I didn't get offered a scholarship at Everton, but looking back, that was just the beginning of a long football career, not the end.
Yes, so after Everton, where did you go?
Went to Stoke.
Stoke?
Yeah.
Did you get a scholarship at Stoke?
Signed a scholarship and moved down to Stoke. Obviously, Stoke were in the Championship at the time, but because of being let go from Everton, I was just like, who are these? I don't want to play for Stoke, I want to play for Everton. So maybe looking back, I probably didn't treat it as good as I should have. I kind of went into thinking, I don't really want to move there. I don't want to move away from home. I don't know anyone there. I've hardly ever heard. Well, you'd obviously heard of Stoke, but you haven't took any interest of any of the players. Like, who have they got? What legends? Stanley Matthews. How old's he? Do you know what I mean? Like, what have Stoke been doing? Yeah. Just all that kind of stuff. But yeah, as you know, having good people around me, they said, no, look, it's an opportunity. You've got to take it. Yeah.
So some people won't know that you come from a really successful football heritage. You know, your cousin's Joe Barton. You know, he's a very successful footballer in his own right. Did that encourage you to make a career out of football?
Do you know what? Yeah, he was just, ultra competitive. Even I think there's 7 or 8 years difference in age, but he wouldn't go easy on you. No, of course, and you wouldn't expect him to.
I think obviously we know Joe personally, and I think one thing you take from Joe is his mental edge against people. Yeah, it's so. He even says it, ability-wise, I probably wasn't one of the best, but mentally-wise, I was the best. Yeah. And that kind of speaks volumes about him as a person. Yeah. And I think you being around him, obviously being close family, you've obviously kind of brushed on you as well to kind of went, you know what, if he's done that, I can do that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, a massive inspiration. We are really close. You go as far as saying we're close, that we're actually cousins, but you'd say we're actually close than that. And yeah, like growing up and then watching him make his Premier League debut, I was in school at the time. I'm like, definitely, yeah, I can do that. Joe's done it. It rubbed off on me that way, and then he'd take us up to training, and we could run round, and Robbie Fowler, Steve McManaman, and that were there at the time. You'd just be like, wow.
Starstruck.
Yeah, to a point. I mean, I would have been more starstruck if it was Duncan Ferguson. But
you're smiling behind the camera, aren't you?
But yeah, it was just natural for Joe. He'd never get starstruck himself, so everything he needs him would rub off on us. He was just, even though Joe had made a handful of appearances, or even before he played in the first team, Robbie Fowler and Steve McManaman were just mates to him, and fair play to them as well, because they took Joe under their wing and stuff. So just getting a little insight into looking at that, just to go back to answer the question, is it was very inspiring watching his career take off, and I was probably the perfect age to use him as an example of what I wanted to do.
That's great. So how long did I Stoke for?
2 years.
And then where did you go from Stoke?
I actually had a year out.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I did. You never look back and use excuses, but when I left Stoke, there was a change in management and stuff like that. The academy went through a lot of stuff. Tony Pulis came in, and the funding what Stoke had for the academy, which was kind of to nurture young players into the first team. Pulis didn't want none of that. He'd rather that budget, that money, even if you're talking it's a fraction of his transfer budget. He wanted that to go towards experienced first team players. So I was actually told I'd be getting a professional contract at Stoke, but until he appointed Pulis as manager, and then he kind of cut the budget, I got turned away. So second part of rejection.
How did that make you feel? That is shite.
Yeah, it was awful. So that's, I had a couple of clubs on the phone come and play mad places like Torquay and places like that, like Gillingham. Through my ex-academy manager, he said, look, if you want a first team contract, I can get you into these clubs. And I was just like, I'm not going there. Like, I don't want to go. I already think this is low. I'm not going down, you know, to League Two. So at the year out, I just thought I'm just going to go and play with my mates. Thought I need to start looking for a job or what I want to do in the near future. I made that decision at the year out. It wasn't only till I started playing with my mates. Another family member of mine, ex-footballer, Tony Kelly, he got in touch and he said, "What are you doing, lad? You're wasting yourself here. What are you doing? You need to get back into football." My mate just got a job at team Norwich Victoria. His mate was Neil Redfern, who famously scored that goal for Charlton, was it, in the Premier League to keep them up. He had a mate and he said, "Yeah, get me down training." Went there, and then that was in the conference at the time, but because it was local, I could get there in half an hour, 40 minutes. I was happy with that, so that got me back into football. So
that leads on to National League then?
Yeah.
So when did you... Not Halifax was 20...
Halifax, yeah, it was, I'd say 2014.
Yeah, so you were there for 2 years, weren't you?
2 years. That was probably the best team I played in, and probably the highest we've got. We were one game away from getting into League Two. We got beat by Cambridge United in the playoffs. So
so the reason why I'm made up that you come on here, I want to, because National League is such a challenging league to play in.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realise. They just think, it's a National League. You know, it's a nobody's league. But you still, National League, you've got to go on a Tuesday, a Saturday. You've got to train in between then. Explain to the people listening how hard it actually is playing a National League.
Yeah, look, first and foremost, you're not getting footballers' wages. You're not getting full-time footballers' wages. I played part-time throughout my my National League career, so what that means is you only train on a Tuesday and Thursday evening, and you play your games on a Saturday or a Tuesday evening, and then bank holidays you're playing Saturday, Monday. So I worked Monday to Friday because you're not paid the wages to be living a sustainable life really on 200-250 quid a week. So you've got to go and find other means to provide for yourself. So
it's frightening, that,
as well as the travelling, sometimes with teams you didn't have budget, you had to drive yourself to games or in car schools.
Wow.
Which are great things, by the way, because you forge some great relationships in them car schools. But yeah, just you could be working Monday to Friday, playing a game on a Tuesday night, training the following Thursday, playing again on Saturday, the arse end of the country, and then you're back in work on the Monday, or you're in work on the Wednesday after a Tuesday night game away at, I don't know, one of the London teams, or Welling, Torquay, Exeter, being down there on a Tuesday night. And then you've got to find it within yourself to get back home, get into work on Wednesday, and then get ready to train again on a Thursday. So that is the commitment you've got to give to play, which for me, I was happy playing at that standard, but the league is full of players trying to get into the Football League, so it's also competitive.
Yeah, it's, you know, like you say, it's so competitive because people want to take that next jump. They want to be a full-time professional footballer. Obviously, I'll still say the National League is pro football. I still say it's professional football.
Well, now when I first played in there for Norwich Victoria, that would have been 2007. 2007. And you could probably say half the teams were full time, half the teams are part time.
Yeah.
But now, I reckon 100% of them are full time. And even the Conference North, the level below, I reckon half of them would be full time. So there's been a real shift and change in terms of the commitment and whatever it is to play semi-pro football, well, if you want to call it semi-pro football.
I think Wrexham have done a great job of sorting that out. You know, Ryan Reynolds and his partner. I think they've
have you seen
it's unbelievable. It's incredible. It's incredible how they just stumbled upon it, and then they went, let's get this back to the top.
Yeah.
You know, it's credit to them, but it's due.
But look, they're not the first.
No.
It's only that it's obviously well documented because they're famous, but there's plenty of people who have tried and are still currently trying at getting teams up into the
Look at Bury
top
now.
divisions.
Bury are back playing North West County Prem.
Yeah, Macclesfield, playing Northern Premier League.
Got Savage involved as the sporting director. Yeah, like you said, there's so many, but obviously Wrexham is well documented, and they've gained a lot of backing through that now. And
yeah, I probably want to get over to the game, like.
I want to see what it's like now.
I'd say from my football career, apart from playing for the England non-league team, I'd say Wrexham away is probably the best. Wrexham or Luton away, probably one of the best games I've played in terms of.
Have you played in Luton Stadium? Have you?
Yeah, well, that year I was at Halifax and we lost out just in the playoffs. They won the league. They had Andre Gray playing up front. We had Lee Gregory, and I think Gregors might have finished top goal scorer. But they were both. I think Gregors was on like 32, 33. Andre would have been on 31. And I think we played them in the second to last home game. We were pushing for the playoffs. I think they already won the league. They pissed it that year. And Greg scored 2. We beat them 2-0. And I always remember it being like a little personal battle between them. But again, speaking earlier, those two both started nowhere and have both gone on to that. Have great careers. Both played in the. I don't know if Greg's played in the Premier League. Or Dre certainly has. But Greg has he's had a really good career in the Championship. He's still playing now for Sheff Wed. So
yeah,
he's the same age as me. He's 35.
No, like you say, you've played at a Premier League ground now, and like I say, you really enjoyed the Wrexham. Did you enjoy Wrexham for the atmosphere? Did you?
Yeah. I always liked Wrexham as a team, as a lad growing up. We had a few mates who played for them as a schoolboy, and I know a couple of Joe's mates played for them, so I'd often go and watch them with Joe. So I always enjoyed the atmosphere. It's not too far away, and they are a passionate club. So it was in my mind when I played there, and I played well as well. So I enjoyed that.
Happy day. You also played for Fylde, didn't you? Fylde, how do you pronounce it?
Fylde.
Yeah. You played for them as well.
Yeah.
Was that a good experience?
Probably not for me. I probably made the wrong decision to go there at one point in my career. I left Halifax to go because Fylde with the league below, but again they had a benefactor who was bouncing them up the leagues, and the plan was to get in the Football League by 2020. So when I joined, I think it was in 2015, 2016. I'd gone from playing at good grounds, in a good competitive league, and I went there, and it kind of felt like going back into the academy football. Half the team were full time, half of them were part time. I couldn't really grasp that, and when I say the lads are like academy footballers, like I was a winner. Like I didn't want to give anything away in a game, and these lads thought it was all right to kind of make mistakes or not see out a game and get a win done the hard way. And it was just a bit of a wish-wash ran football club for me to join after being at a club like the size of Halifax Town.
Do you miss football?
No.
Why?
Just got other interests at the moment. I mean, look, I finished at 33. I left school at 16, so what's that? I had almost 17 years playing. My body doesn't miss it. I actually feel as good now as I said I was going back from working Monday to Friday and then playing 2 games a week sometimes. I was just fucking writ off all the time. And now my body's starting to appreciate the rest, and I can put my energy towards other things like playing golf, for instance. But I do miss it at certain points. But if someone were to ask me the question, would I want to go and join a team and play now? The answer's no at the minute. But I've had a great career. I do love football, but it's just not something I'd be interested in playing in at the moment.
That's a fair enough answer. So that will lead us on to Svara Radio.
Yeah.
Where did the idea come from, and where did you like start?
So again, briefly mentioned it at the start of this chat that I was surrounded by music as much as I was football growing up. My family were really into music. Like, we lived next door but one to me nan in Huyton, in Molyneux Close, and in our house she had me 2 older sisters who had you know, CDs from floor to ceiling, and they had a Boss speaker set up and all that. Who's now my stepdad John, and my mum had a Boss stack and vinyl records set up in the living room with, again, floor to ceiling full of records. So I was just introduced to music dead early. Next door but one, I've got my uncle Tom. He was into his indie music, and he'd have magazines, records. So I was just surrounded by it, basically. So I'd always been introduced to good music since an early age. So as I was coming up and, you know, I was having a career in football, I'd be going to gigs all the time. I'd be going to nightclubs. I'd be going to see DJs. I'd be mixing with people who were in the music industry. And it's just something I've always felt I'd enjoy doing, and I've got the knowledge and ability to do. So fast forward a few years, the internet booms. You get internet radio, so you can source music now quickly from anywhere in the world. I could give you a few pointers on some apps and software which can introduce you to that, and then just grew more love for music by hearing stories from all around the world, partly down to the internet. So I took the inspiration from Svara. I was like, I love these stations a lot in New York, Red Light Radio in Amsterdam, NTS, which is now in 3 big cities worldwide, London, Tokyo, Los Angeles. And I'm like, as well as listening to Boss music from people from those cities, I really felt when I was listening that I was there, that I was part of that city for when I was listening to these, as I say, like underground hosts or DJs playing music and talking stories. So I thought, you know what, whenever I get the opportunity, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that in Liverpool. Like, for me, Liverpool's up there with New York, Amsterdam.
Massive musical heritage.
Yeah, Paris. You know, for me, it's one of the major cities in the world. And so I'm like, no one's doing that yet. You know, if you ask me, the radio stations are shite in Liverpool. You know, commercially dominated. It's just
adverts every 2 minutes.
Negative adverts, negative news. Same 10 songs on rotation what are in the chart. So I'm just like, there's fucking massive opportunity to do something boss here, not just for myself, but for the city and any music fans or passionate artists or people who are interested in getting into music. There's an opportunity to do something fucking incredible here. Yeah.
So where did the name come from?
The name, I've got to give Kate a bit of credit for this. My partner Kate, she teaches yoga, so when I had the idea, I just knew if I'm going to roll in Liverpool, the name has to be right. So Kate teaches yoga, and I'm like, what? She was saying, why don't you look at the language, Sanskrit, just, you know, type in something what you think in Sanskrit. So start with music, music feelings, music emotions and stuff like that, and the name Svara popped up, and I was like, Svara, that's fucking Scouse, that. I was like, I could just imagine everyone saying Svara. So when I looked into it means the perfect musical pitch. So it's just like, fucking sound that's I'm gonna get some logos done, and see how it looks, and then never look back.
It's class. I love the unique initiatives that you offer to people. You know, I think one thing that the station does compared to any other platform for music is that you're constantly looking for new people to come in. You know, every week. You know, I know you're a good friend, and I've followed the station from its beginning. There's always new people on, and you never say no to anyone from coming on. You know, it can be any musical background, it can be any radio background. You know, it's not just a set of decks and a vinyl going around, which you're offering a radio station for people to use.
Yeah, there's a community attached to that, but just going back, you know, that's a really push that if you've got any kind of story or musical journey, I'd love you to share it, because as eclectic as it gets, if it could be rock, could be, you know, disco, could be house, could be punk, anything, soul. If you're not giving someone the platform to share that story, it'll never get heard.
Yeah.
You know, there's only 2 types of music for me. It's good and bad. It doesn't matter what genre it's in. Yeah. You might be denying someone that opportunity of someone really making an impression on you, and music making an impression on you. And ultimately that can change your life.
Yeah, it's like I said, there's no specific scope for Svara. It's any kind of music you want to bring.
Yeah, well, it's the complete opposite to what commercial radio is.
Yeah, they just want pop.
Listen to this.
Yeah, pop.
Again and again and again.
Top 40.
Yeah.
Listen to that, listen to that, listen to that.
Yeah.
We're paid to endorse
Let
this.
me brainwash you into buying these records.
Whereas, you know, one night it might be tech house on the station, where another night it might be, what's the hard, heavy metal rock.
Yeah.
And I think that's so, in a way, beautiful for a station to promote. You know, it's not ran commercially.
Yeah.
It's ran for the pure passion of introducing local artists to anyone who's listening to the station.
Yeah, and it'll stay that way. I mean, it's
stay true to your roots.
Yeah, it'll stay that way. It's a really long-term project. I mean, the goal is to try and break this commercial mold in Liverpool. I really think it's got a bad effect, man. I mean, like you can go out in town or in the day and of a night, and you look at the gangs of the younger generations now, and they just all look the fucking same. Like, there's no kind of uniqueness, or, you know, there's no outliers there anymore who want to try and promote being different and being true. You're just looking and you've got 10 people, lads and girls, all looking the same, wearing the same.
I think that's just the modern world, though, isn't it? I think social media's played the biggest part in that.
Equally, yeah.
I think social media's brainwashed that many people to think you've got to be a certain way.
Yeah.
You've got to look a certain way. You know, I come across a song by a girl artist, an American artist called Jax, and it's called Victoria's Secret. And she talks about, you know, the internet said that she was overweight, so she made herself anorexic, and then she got herself really ill of anorexia, and that was purely through the social media telling her that she was overweight, and a website telling her.
It's dark. I mean, as far as you want to look into that, I mean, that's just a beast now, isn't it? Social media.
Massive.
I mean, I think that's out of my control to take on Zuckerberg and all that. But what I feel like we can do at Svara is combat this, you know, commercial domination with fucking Robin S. Show Me Love, and, you know, just the same tracks getting played over and over again. I mean, I think with me, if you're introducing these younger generations to different music, that is one of the key things. What can have an impression and give you confidence to make you be a bit different, make you dress a bit different, maybe talk to someone new about something different, you know. It's got a really powerful effect. So, as I say, the radio, it's a long-term project, and something I'm loving at the minute. Yeah,
so someone's listening now and would like to get in touch about, you know, possibly performing on the station. How would they do that?
The website. I mean, we've got a website, www.svararadio.com. There's a contact us page on there. There's a submissions link where you can send us some music of what you're listening to. Give a short bio about your story, about what you want to tell, and we'll give you that platform. Also, funny enough, talking enough social media, you have to. We're quite active on Instagram. So
use it the right way, though. You're not using it. Again, you're not using it commercially.
No, yeah.
I think the beauty of Svara and why I love it so much is, you know, the first message you come upon is, do you want to come on Svara? Click this.
Yeah, it's a platform.
Yeah. It's a great platform, you know, and I think it's also credit when you look, you know, you started this in lockdown. Was it 2020 or 21?
Yeah, October 2020, so we're
actually
3 next month.
Yeah, so, you know, credit, you've worked with some of the biggest retailers in Liverpool. You know, they've kind of grasped the idea, and, you know, you've worked with, you know, On Running when they done their promotion. You were there DJing, that Svara Radio was. And bars within Liverpool are always, you know, I remember we had a discussion last week. You were saying, you know, if you'd ever want to go and do a bar, there's that many bars who want to use us. You know, there's work there. So, like, how did that come about? How did you get? Do you reckon that come through the messages for it?
To be honest, people, even brands and people involved in marketing, have just emailed us. Just got in touch and said, look, we've got like On Running specifically. We've announced we're going to do this pop-up in Liverpool 1. We've been watching you. We think you really identify with Liverpool culture, and you can see you've got a network of people who we'd be interested in showing to the store. And they just asked us, do you want to get involved? So I was like, well, this is new, you know. I just wanted to set up a bit of an underground radio station, and it's now turning into working with brands and representing Liverpool. Like, fucking yeah, you know, it's like a massive pat on the back, really. But yeah, that was boss. It's, you know, there's been more. We've worked with Tessuti, we've worked with Seven Store, which is in the Baltic. We've worked with Adidas, Liverpool Football Club. I'd rather have been Everton, but maybe Everton in the future. And we've got plenty more projects, specifically in hospitality, where you said we've got bars who also wanna work with us as well. But what that gives us, that's unique, and it gives us the opportunity to give our DJs a little bit of paid work as well as, you know, as well as being on a platform and being in a kind of creative shop window, really. We can have the opportunity to give them some paid work as well.
And then another beauty is, you know, the equipment's there for them to use.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of what puts a lot of people off is, even when if they're starting podcasting or even the music, is the cost of the equipment. But what I love about Svara is, you go, this deck's there set up for you. All you need a memory stick of your songs.
Yeah, and,
you know,
and a story.
This is the genre they want you to play. This is the client wants you to play this genre of music. Get a playlist together.
Yeah.
An hour, 2 hours, however long, the equipment's there for you, and you're getting paid for it.
There you go.
You know, I think that's what some people may not know. So
for someone who's interested in being involved in the music industry or creative industry or hospitality industry, I mean, you're not going to get that from the commercial stations. They're not going to. For me, another reason, they don't provide any opportunities. You know,
no,
that's just a commercial machine. So yeah, that's obviously another positive what we offer and what we've kind of grown into being.
So, you know, what's been the most memorable moment with Svara? Like, what's really stuck with you?
Glastonbury, playing Glastonbury.
So not many people will know that. Obviously your DJ name's Joshinho. Joshinho.
Yeah.
As a friend, I was made up when I seen this. You know, you obviously played Glastonbury this year. So how did that come about?
Do you know one of our residents on the station, Ollie? Shout out to Ollie Louise. He played there the year before, and he'd made some good contacts. He must have done well. I didn't get to see his show at the time, but then he said, "Look, there's space there if Svara want to get involved." And I said, "Fucking right, yeah."
The biggest stage in them all.
Like, he was like, "Well, you know, the tent we're playing, you know, it's not really, you know, it's not organised with like set times and stuff. It's a case of bring your tunes with you, and when the opportunity comes, just say yeah." So we got down there on the Wednesday, and then obviously got stuck into Glastonbury, because why wouldn't you? So
yeah, completely
forget about it until on the Friday. I managed to get some signal somewhere, and then a message pops up from Ollie. He said, "Lad, it's on." I'm like, what's on? He said, 8 o'clock Sunday night. He said, you're on. And I'm like, wow, no way. So I'm like, obviously in the middle of Glasto, I'm excited, but also a little bit nervous. And
yeah.
He said, just want it? I said, of course. And when I say us, well, Ollie kind of promised both me and Robbie May from Laces Out that, you know, we'd split it, we'd do it back to back, because I do quite a bit of bits with Rob and Around Town as a kind of duo, as a back to back, like in the Merchants and stuff. So I had to get hold of Rob then and then Rob was equally was buzzing for me, and then I'm like, I'm gonna have to fucking take it easy Saturday night. I don't want to fuck this up and all that, but obviously didn't. Just stayed up until all hours. I was actually I felt that bad on the Sunday morning because of the Saturday night. I was gonna, like, I had doubts. I was just like, I can't do this. I don't know if my nerves will let me, or my body, or my brain. I've been awake for 4 days. Like, I don't know if I can actually push buttons and pick tunes, but I remember FaceTiming my ma on the Sunday. As I said, my ma's a massive music fan, and I was just FaceTiming to check on the kids, because my mum had them while Kate had come down on the Friday, Saturday. And I was just checking on the kids, and the first thing, big beam and smile, was like, I can't believe you're playing Glastonbury. I'm like, I'm gonna have to fucking stay and do it now. So yeah, done it, and it was on just before Elton John. So obviously, you've got 90% of the festival are sitting on the pyramid. So played to a few people. You know, there was probably about 50, 60 people there at this tent. People were passing through and coming in and having a dance, which is just fucking exactly what you want. So
yeah. Well, not many people can say they play Glastonbury.
No, definitely not.
That's like such a, it's such an achievement. It's like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's the biggest festival in the world, I would say.
Best place in the world. So
yeah,
hopefully the first of many.
I've never been Glasto. It's one place I've never been, and I can just imagine it to be like a church for music.
Oh, lad, it's fucking better than that. It's like a mecca. It's like I could talk to you about it all day, mate. You've just got to go and got to go and absorb it all particularly you've got to go once in your lifetime. Yeah. Because I haven't spoken to anyone who
he's had a bad word about it.
Who's said a bad word about it. Actually, I bumped in just on it quickly. I bumped into the girl outside the studio this morning who we were chatting to last year in Glasto, and she was like, I was pregnant. I was like, what? She was like, it was early. I was like, yeah, it was dead early. Obviously, like, she didn't drink or nothing like that. She was just like, I just couldn't not go. Like, that's like the kind of grab what it.
I can imagine people going who don't drink and going just purely for the fact of it's Glastonbury.
Lads, you get everyone there. That's like all walks of life, and everyone gets along. 250,000, 300,000 people, and you don't see any busies. You don't see no trouble. You don't see nothing. It's just all places.
Everyone's there for a good time, aren't they?
It's the best place in the world.
So, can you share with us any exciting developments or things we should be excited about from Svara?
We've got a few things in the pipeline. I don't think we're ready to announce them just yet because nothing's cemented. Yeah. But we've actually just got one day penciled in. I think it's the 14th of October. We've been working with Meatball Molly and her partner Joel McCarthy with a good concept which combines food and music. It's called our concept's called Subs and Dubs. So Molly and Joel have launched an Italian street food, polpetta. It's boss. Got to try it in the Baltic market. But we, as part of the launch, we put a little night on in Press Bros on Lark Lane where we had this interesting idea of doing a 4-course meal, sit-down meal, 4 different DJs, 4 different genres of music. We called it Subs and Dubs, and it went fucking off. It was boss. So that was back in July, so we've just announced our second one, which would be 14th of October on Pins Rooftop. Do you know Pins on there?
Yeah.
Duke Street.
Yeah.
So
it's probably one of the most go-to bars now, isn't it? Pins.
Yeah. For people who go out anymore, I don't really go.
I don't go out anymore. I'm scared of going out nowadays.
Supposedly it is. I mean, we've got that penciled in, which will be boss. That'll be a good do that.
Yeah, that's it. No, it's credit to you. Do you think, so looking back now at the conversation we had through starting with the football and to Svara, do you think the football had an impact on getting Svara successful?
Possibly, yeah, because it's probably moulded my character, hasn't it, really? Yeah. Into having a confidence for doing something like this. But yeah, there's not much difference in between football and music. They're both, as I said, from my childhood, they were both around me a lot. They're both very creative, very competitive. So in a way, I think it possibly has, yeah.
So tradition we do here to end the podcast is, can you leave us with a quote that you live by or has some personal meaning to you? So like I said, previous episode we had Jake Carter on. I give him the option of using a song lyric which has had meaning to you.
Yeah.
So if I use one, for example, for me, it's a song. We can do a song actually. A song with me is "Cast No Shadow" by Oasis.
Yeah.
I think the lyrics that are, here's a man. There's a man. I'm trying to think of the lyric on my top of my head, but that whole song, as he faces the sun, he casts no shadow.
Yeah.
It's like you go, whoa, like from a writing point of view, you go, how has he come up with that?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So, do you have any which has a meaning to you?
That's a fun that. There's obviously a cliche, but there could be so many. But you caught me a little bit on the spot here, so I might have to go with a quote instead.
Okay.
Which would be, work hard, play hard.
So simple, but so effective.
Well, what's the point in doing anything if you can't enjoy it? So there's the amount of work you put in any project. At the end of the day, you want to have enjoyment and satisfaction from it, and you deserve to enjoy the moment and have a good time as well as just work hard.
Boss, mate. Socials, what do people follow if they want to keep up to date?
On Instagram, at Svara Radio. There will be announcements, as I say, which I just can't announce just yet.
Yeah.
But also just stay on that page just to hear some incredible music, just to keep you informed on what DJs are coming on and what DJs are playing. You've also got our free app, which is Svara Radio. You can get on the App Store, and there you'll find probably the best collection of music day to day. Like we have our everyday playlist, which is just, it's modern music, it's new music, it's just not mainstream, so there's little bits here and there, but it's something where you could really listen to for an hour or two and it can take you to a different place. And then finally our Mixcloud channel, which Mixcloud is kind of the YouTube for online radio. So there you can find all the past DJ shows that have been live on Svara Radio, video and audio. So yeah, I'd say there are links to check us out.
Pleasure having you, lad.
Dan, boss lad, thank you very much.
No worries, mate. Absolute pleasure.
It's been good chatting.
Yeah, it's always good to have a chat with you.
Because you DJ as well.
I do a little bit, yeah. I'll have to come on and do a set for you.
You'll have to get down, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, mate. But thank you for joining us again on another fascinating episode of the Local Lab Podcast. Again, don't forget to follow us on all audible apps, TikTok, YouTube, under all one handle at the Local Lab Podcast. Remember, greatness can be found right in our community. Stay inspired, stay curious, and stay tuned to the Local Lab Podcast.